Hello everybody, welcome into another lesson. So today we are going to talk about multiplying polynomials by using the FOIL method. We're going to use FOIL. And no, I don't mean aluminum foil. I mean a method that allows you to almost do this mentally. All you're going to do, what FOIL stands for, is the first, outer, inner, and last terms. So let's say you have something like x plus 5, that quantity, times x plus 8. You'll take your first terms, multiply those, plus you'll take your outer terms, the x plus x and 8, plus your inner terms, the 5 and x, multiply those, plus your outer terms, the 5 and 8, multiply those. So FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. So let's rewrite this here and we'll do the problem. We have x plus 5, that quantity, times the quantity of x plus 8. Okay. Well, what you need to do for the FOIL method, you take your first terms, which would be x times x. That would give you x squared, plus you'll take your outer, your x times 8, which would be 8x, plus you'll take your inner, which would be 5 times x, that'd be 5x, plus you take your outer, 5 times 8, which would be 40. So now if we simplify the 8x and 5x, you'll end up getting x squared plus 13x plus 40. So to review, I took the first terms of each parenthesis, the x times x, I got x squared, plus I took the outer terms, the x and the 8, the x times 8, I got 8x, so x squared plus 8x, plus I took the inner terms, the 5 times x, I got 5x, plus I took the last terms, the 5 times 8, and I got 40. So this simplifies down into x squared plus 13x plus 40. And I got more examples. Alright, what do we got next here? We got the quantity of x plus 7 times the quantity of x plus 6. Okay? So again, what you're going to do is you're going to take your first terms, your x times x, that'll give you x squared. So your first plus your outer, your x times 6, that'd be plus 6x, plus your inner, your 7 times x, that'd be 7x, then plus your last, your 7 times 6, which would be 42. And then you simplify this down, you should get x squared plus 13x plus 42. So the answer you should get is x squared plus 13x plus 42 once you do the FOIL method. I almost find this easier than what I taught yesterday than the double distributive, because then you have to go through, do your distributive property twice, and then add stuff up. This to me is a quicker method of multiplying polynomials. You may disagree and you're welcome to use the double distributive method. That's no problem. After today, take your pick. But ultimately, again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Do what your teacher tells you, though. If you have a teacher that wants it one particular way, do it their way. Because though I'm here to help you and supplement, I am not your teacher. That's important to remember. So follow what your teacher tells you to do. Alright. We have y minus 4. That quantity times the quantity of y minus 3. Well, what you're going to do then is you're going to take the first terms, the y and the y, you'll multiply them. Y times y, that's y squared. Plus you'll take your y, the outer y times negative 3. So you'll do y times negative 3 plus your inner, your negative 4 times y, which would be that, plus your last, which would be negative 4 times negative 3, that'd be positive 12. Let's go through and do the multiplication real quick. You'll get y squared minus 3y minus 4y plus 12. Now when we simplify this, you should get y squared minus 7y plus 12. So we simplify, you get y squared minus 7y plus 12. So if you can remember, FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, last. If you can remember that and apply that, you got this. Honestly, FOIL is actually a pretty easy method. Alright. We got c minus 9. That quantity times the quantity of c times 6. Okay? So what you're going to do, take your first terms, the c times c, which would give you c squared, plus your outer terms of c times negative 6, plus your inner terms, which would be negative 9 times c, plus your outer terms of negative 9 times negative 6, which would actually be positive 54. Let's do the multiplication. You'll get c squared minus 6c minus 9c plus 54. Okay? Simplify this, you'll end up getting c squared minus 15c plus 54. So the answer you should get is going to be c squared minus 15c plus 54. Alright, we have the quantity of z plus 4 times the quantity of z minus 7. So we got the quantity of z plus 4 times the quantity of z minus 7. Again, take your first terms, your z times z, you'll get z squared, plus your outer terms of z times negative 7, plus your inner terms of 4 times z, which would be positive 4z, plus your outer terms, which would be 4 times negative 7. Now we simplify this with the multiplication, you'll get z squared minus 7z plus 4z, and then 4 times negative 7, that's negative 28, so minus 28. Now let's simplify this further. You'll get z squared, then negative 7z plus 4z, that's negative 3z. So z squared minus 3z minus 28. So the answer you should get is going to be z squared minus 3z minus 28. Alright, we got y plus 6 times the quantity of y minus 2. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to take, again, your first terms, y times y, that'd be y squared, plus your outer terms, y times negative 2, plus your inner term, 6 times y, which would be 6y, plus your last terms of 6 times negative 2. Let's do the multiplication. To simplify this, you'll get y squared plus negative 2 times y would give you negative 2y. So y squared minus 2y plus 6y. Then you have plus 6 times negative 2, that'd be negative 12. Simplify this further, you'll get y squared. Now you have negative 2y plus 6y, that'd be positive 4y. Then minus 12. So the answer you should get for this would be y squared plus 4y minus 12. Alright, let's see if we can do a little bit of harder problems. I think you're starting to get the idea by now. We have 2y plus 5 times the quantity of y plus 2. So this is a little bit different because the coefficients are starting to be things other than 1. So you're still going to do your you do your first terms, the 2y times y, you would get 2y squared, plus your outer, you would do 2y times 2. So you would do 2y times 2 plus your inner 5 times y, which is simply 5y, then plus your last 5 times 2, that's plus 10. So let's go ahead and do some multiplication here. You'll still get 2y squared plus 2y times 2, that'd be plus 4y, plus 5y, plus 10. Now we simplify this, you'll get 2y squared. Then you have plus 4y plus 5y, well that's plus 9y, plus 10. So the answer you should get for this would be 2y squared plus 9y plus 10. All right. Let's see here. We have 2n plus 1 times the quantity of 5n plus 2. Well, still the same process, even though the coefficients aren't 1 on the variable terms. You're going to take your first terms, 2n times 5n, so you'll take 2n times the quantity of 5n. So your first plus your outer, the 2n times 2, plus your inner, 1 times 5n, well that would just be 5n, plus your last, 1 times 2, well that would just be 2. Now let's do some multiplication here. 2n times 5n, that'd be 10n squared, plus 2n times 2, that'd be plus 4n, plus the 5n, plus the 2. Now let's simplify this. You'll have 10n squared, plus 4n plus 5n, that's plus 9n, plus 2. So the answer you should get would be 10n squared plus 9n plus 2. Let's see. We'll do 3 more. We have 3h minus 5 times the quantity of 2h plus 1. Alright. You're still going to take your first terms, the 3h times the 2h, so we'll go ahead and do that. 3h times 2h plus your plus your last terms of outer terms. First outer 3h times 1, which would just be 3h, plus your inner of negative 5 times 2h, plus your last, which would be negative 5 times 1, that'd be minus 5. Okay, so let's do some multiplication. 3h times 2h, that's going to be 6h squared. Then you have plus 3h. Then you have negative 5 times 2h, that'd be minus 10h. Then you have minus 5. Which we could simplify this. We'll get 6h squared. Now plus 3h minus 10h, that's minus 7h minus 5. So the answer you should get for this would be 6h squared minus 7h minus 5. Alright, 2 more examples, then we're done for the day. Let's see, we got 3x plus 2, that quantity times 2x minus 3. Alright, so once again, you'll take your first terms, the 3x times 2x, so let's go ahead and do that. Plus, you'll take your 3x times your negative 3. So we did the first, now we just did the outer. Now we're going to do plus the inner terms, 2 times 2x. Plus, we'll take the last terms, 2 times negative 3. So let's go through and do the multiplication. 3x times 2x, well that's going to be 6x squared. Alright, then you have 3x times negative 3, that'd be minus 9x. Then you have plus 2 times 2x, that'd be plus 4x. Then you have plus 2 times negative 3, well that'd be minus 6. Now let's simplify this, you'll get 6x squared. Now you have negative 9x plus 4x, that'd be minus 5x. Then minus 6. So the answer you should get for this would be 6x squared minus 5x minus 6. And I got one more example here, then we're done. Alright, we got 5n plus 4. That quantity times the quantity of 4n minus 5. Alright. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your first terms, the 5n times 4n. So let's go ahead and do that. 5n times 4n. So that's your first plus your outer, the 5n times negative 5. Plus your inner terms of 4 times 4n, plus your last terms of 4 times negative 5. Now let's do some multiplication. 5n times 4n, that would be 20n squared. You get 20n squared, then you have 5n times negative 5, that'd be minus 25n. Then you have plus 4 times 4n, that'd be plus 16n. Then you have plus 4 times negative 5, that'd be minus 20. So then you have 20n squared. Then you have negative 25n plus 16n, that'd be negative 9n. Then you have minus 20. So the answer you should get for this would be 20n squared minus 9n plus 20. So with FOIL, if you can remember the first, outer, inner, and last terms, you got this. That's really all there is to it. So the next lesson, let's see here where we're at. Not that we've already covered that. We're going to be transforming formulas. We're going to solve for certain variables of formulas. So stay tuned for that. I hope everybody has a good night. Take care.